Well, how you doing tonight, internet friends? I wasn't going to do a video. The more I thought about this topic, the more I changed my mind. And the topic is the one that I've brought up a couple of different times, and that's Citizens United. So I started to kind of look into it a little bit. Now, Citizens United started back in 2010, so it's been around for a good long time. Okay, so 16 years. And it was shortly after that Citizens United became a thing that that's when big money came into play. The Adelsons, and I didn't know who they were up until just a little while ago when I looked it up. Um, they were casino moguls. And shortly after that decision of Citizens United, they donated $90 million, I am assuming, to the GOP. I'm making that assumption, so we all know what it means to assume. So basically, I'm guessing that that's what happened. And one of the bigger proponents of Citizens United were the Koch brothers. And again, we've all heard of the Koch brothers, and one of them has since passed away. But another family that, more money than God, that got that pushed through. And so that's when super PACs started back in 2010 when Scotus found in favor of Citizens United. And basically, what they were saying, and I'm pretty sure everybody knows this, I didn't, so maybe that's why I'm bringing this up because I didn't know it. And so I'm thinking that, hey, I'm going to see how much more other people know than me, which is probably a lot. But anyway, they were basically saying that money was a form of free speech, that it was protected by the First Amendment. Okay. Well, maybe so. I don't know the logic behind that because I'm not a judge. I didn't go to law school, so therefore I'm not a lawyer. Um, and so basically, let's see here. Court ruled that corporate funding of independent political broadcasts in candidate elections cannot be limited because such spending is a form of protected speech, much like burning a flag. Okay, a lot of people don't agree with that either. So Justice Anthony Kennedy's majority opinion stated that political speech must prevail against laws that would suppress it, whether by design or inadvertence. The ruling deemed that independent expenditures do not give rise to corruption or the appearance of corruption. Um, Now, if that justice is still alive, I wonder how he feels about it now. And because obviously, um, there's corruption abound now, and it's all out in front with this current administration. So basically, where I'm going with this is that money's got to get out of politics. Some way it's got to. Somehow that decision, the 2010 decision of the Supreme Court, needs to be looked at again. It needs to be relitigated, and somehow somebody has to say, you know what, this isn't right, and super PACs just shouldn't be. They shouldn't be. Yeah, okay, fine. It's a form of free speech, but you know, this is this is this is our these are our elections, and our elected officials need to get there honestly, okay? Grassroots, you know, not accepting PAC money, not accepting money from people that have ulterior motives. I can't talk again. Ulterior motives. I mean, everybody has an ulterior motive, but some some ulterior motives are better than others. Okay, and so we just need more transparency in that, and no dark money. We need to know where that money's coming from. We need to know who we can put blockades up against. And it's not impossible for people without money to do this. It's not easy, but it's not impossible. And where there's a will, there's a way. There are endless platitudes or whatever you want to say, but even still, big money has unleveled the playing field, and we need a more level playing field. Okay, it has to be just as easy for the grassroots candidate who only accepts donations from the public, regular John Q, Jane Q public. They need to have a fighting chance. And when you've got super PACs that are donating tens of millions of dollars to somebody's campaign, it's hard to fight that. And therein lies where I was saying the other day that when they go low, we should go high. And I was all, I do appreciate the Obamas, and they're great people. Barack Obama was an awesome president, but in today's political world, that just doesn't work. It doesn't work. They go low, we need to go lower or as low. It We need more opposition research, because that those on the right, they're doing their research. So those on the left who are running for an office, they need to do their research. They need to turn over every rock they can find to, you know, and if that's what it takes now to get dirt on your opponent, your Republican opponent, then damn it, that's what has to be done, because this just isn't right. And yes, like I said in one of my last videos, I do smoke, so hopefully I won't trigger anybody. The fortunate thing is that I'm here and y'all are where you're at, so the smell of my cigarette isn't gonna, or shouldn't, well, no, it won't bother you because we still haven't come up with smell-o-vision yet. So anyway, and the next thing is that when it comes to the office of the president, the person running for that position, running for the Oval Office, running for the most powerful person in the world, that person needs to be above reproach. Okay? They need to be held to a much higher standard. Okay? I mean, there really seriously needs to be tiny skeletons in their closets, not great big huge gigantic skeletons in their closet like what we have with the current administration. How many times is Trump's name mentioned in the Epstein files? I think I heard something like 30,000, and that could be a conservative number. I'm not sure. But either way, okay, it's been alleged that he is a pedophile. It's been alleged that he is a chomo, okay? Um, Assaulted a 13-year-old child, a little girl, physically and sexually. So what's up with that? And all of these rich people that are being called out in the Epstein files, Howard Lutnick. I mean, come on. You know, it's 30 years ago, something like this would have been career ending. That Access Hollywood tape that Trump was, that hot mic that he was caught on for the Access Hollywood tape, that would have been career ending. There was a dude by the name of, I think his name was John Edwards, who was caught having an extramarital affair, and that ended his career. And then there was Dan Quayle, who misspelled the word potato, and that ended his career. I mean, seriously, we need to start holding our candidates that are running for political office to higher standards. Okay? It, they seriously need to be above reproach, and they need not be liars. Okay? And that's the other thing that I think needs to happen is that there needs to be a law that prohibits bold-faced lies in campaigns. Okay? I mean, seriously, think of what Trump's, all his lies. Okay? And he still lies. He lies as naturally as breathing. It's second nature to him. Lying is just a way of doing business. Well, you know what? Maybe if you're in the private sector, okay, but not okay. So, anyway, that's my take, my opinion. And honestly, it's time for this country to start doing some serious soul searching. And we need to start getting candidates for elected office that are fighters, that will fight for the people, okay, not the corporations, okay, because the corporations, they don't care about us, we the people. And see, that's how the Constitution starts in the preamble. We the people, okay? It's not we the corporations, it's we the people, period. So that's my rant. That's my take. I think I've said this. That's the second time I've said this. Um, and I look forward to talking to you again at a later time, few days, maybe tomorrow. I don't know, but you have a great night wherever you are.